What's up, guys? Welcome to YouTube and welcome back to the show. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce our newest partner on the Pit to Pro podcast. We've decided to partner up with the Athlete Wellness Academy to deliver you guys the best in arm swing training. With their new Arm Swing Academy, you will receive video analysis, a ton of feedback, on-court drills, and individualized workouts. AWA has worked extensively with the three of us at the Pit to Pro podcast, as well as the top university programs across the country. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, click the link in the description of this video or our Instagram bio and get $10 off every month of your subscription. The Arm Swing Academy offers a 7-day free trial, which you can cancel at any time. And if you're not seeing progress after 1 month of joining the Academy, you'll be refunded. It's completely risk-free. So click the link in the description of this video or our Instagram bio and start your 7-day free trial today. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And we're live.
And we're live. This is a very, very special episode. We're joined by Kevin Tillie. Kevin, thanks a lot for coming on.
What's up?
This is, well, first off, we got to say congratulations. Back-to-back gold medals at the Olympics. Some people spend their entire lives just trying to go to the Olympics, and you're one of the very few people on this planet that has 2 gold medals. So that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy. It started just by we just want to go to the Olympics, so it's as you said, some people just want to go, and that's how it started.
Very cool.
So it's crazy to be here.
Yeah. Well, and this is a special episode for me too, because you don't know this, but you were the very first pro volleyball player that I was ever introduced to. I was at the FTC in Canada, which is like the Centre de Formation, basically, with Vincent Pichette. I was 16, and he said, "You got to watch this guy." So 8 years ago, 9 years ago, you were the first player that I ever watched, and now we have you on the podcast. So this is a very, very special opportunity. Yeah,
that's good.
So let's start this thing off. I want to know how you went from the TRU Wolfpack to a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Well, that's a long story. No, I mean, first of all, I got to TRU. It was not my first choice because I wanted to go to the US because my older brother played basketball at Utah in Salt Lake City, and so my initial thought was to go to the NCAA to be close to him. They have BYU. I wanted to go to BYU to be like. It was a 20-minute drive from his university, but the grades transfer is super complicated from Europe to North America, and they don't really understand the difference between high school in France and high school in North America. So, I passed the science degree in high school, which is the highest degree. There's different kind of degrees in France. And I just had it's called a C. I passed, but for us, it's just amazing to be able to pass this science one. And when you send the grades to NCAA, they say, "Well, you had C. You're terrible." So it's like, if you want to come, you got to sit out a year or like stuff like this. And there was also problems with the amateur. The amateur problem because with the CNVB, the national team center, we were playing in the pro league, but we were not pro, and there was some difficulties there. And Canada accepted way easier the grades, the transfer, they all accepted. So I ended up looking in Canada, and I think Glen Oak told me that there's a good university in Kamloops, Thompson Rivers. Mm-hmm. My dad was talking to some coaches and got there. Like also Jason Aldain helped us to get there. And got there. I just wanted to leave France and wanted to be in college. So I just do it. I go there. I didn't even know where it was. I didn't know who was there. No idea.
I don't even think people in Canada know where Kamloops is.
No. Well, so Americans know Kamloops more than Canadians, I think, because I talk a lot to my little brother went to Gonzaga.
Yeah,
it's not so far. Spokane well, it's still like
Yeah,
for you guys, for Canadians, it's not far.
yeah.
For us, French people, it's very far. But yeah, when I say Cameroon, some people know where it is.
That's funny. Cool.
So,
Yeah, you go.
well, I'm just curious why you decided to go to university or college. A lot of French players don't.
No, even Europeans, not many to go. Especially when I went, it was the only guy I knew that went was Paul Carroll, Australian guy.
Yeah.
That was like when I was watching videos, like the guy that was the international players in college. I wanted to be the Paul Carroll, the new Paul Carroll, like to go. Like it looks so cool when I watch videos, right? And I got to watch this because, as I said, my brother played basketball in the U.S. and in basketball, it's something a lot of players do, go to college in America. And when I went to visit him on holidays, it was the best life you can ever imagine as a like student athlete, like because our parents always wanted us to study and do sports in case sport doesn't work or you get an injury or something. So, and our entire life growing up, he told us like that the best thing is to go to North America for studying and play sports.
Mhm.
I think it's because when he was in national team, my dad did a tournament in UCLA, and he thought it was the most amazing place to play volleyball. So he told us to, if you whatever sport you go, you got to go to the US and study. And if you manage to get a scholarship, it's even better. So
Cool.
that's
Well,
the story.
I think it's really cool. And one of the reasons we were so drawn to having you on the show is we've only been recording for like 10 minutes, but you've already brought up your brothers, you've already brought up your parents. And
Yeah.
it's evident as an outsider that you're a very close family. Can you speak a little bit about your development as brothers and how you managed to stay so close even to this day?
Uh, it's true. It's crazy that we're still so close because we never see each other. Never,
Yeah.
never, never. But like maybe 1 week every year, maybe we see each other, and all together, really together, all five,
Yeah.
maybe a few days every 2, 3 years, maybe. Um, and I don't know. We grew up both parents playing volleyball, so every weekend in volleyball gyms at games. Once in a while, go to practices to play, hang out, and we grew up just thinking that it's normal to play sport as a job. Like it's a normal thing. Both parents do it, so it's
Yeah.
like, what does your dad do? Like it's cool. It's always like, what is your parents' jobs? And I always write volleyball, and people are like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, no, that's what they do. And for us, it's normal things. And I grew up thinking I'd play sport. That would be my job. So with my brothers, we played different sports. Like I played tennis, tried judo, then basketball for a long time, and then quite late I turned to volleyball. Just because I have more friends. I started at school a little bit with a group of friends from my hometown, and we all got joined a club and we played, and it was way more fun. And I felt like I was more skilled. It was more simple to play volleyball than basketball, I guess, for me. And my little brother, who's way younger than Kim and I got 8 years difference with him. He also grew up just watching the parents and the brothers play
Right.
pro and play university, and so for him also it was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a professional sportsman. I don't know, whatever sport. And he was playing volleyball and basketball for a really long time, and he was the best out of the whole family at both sports. Like
Cool.
crazy skilled, and like he was French champion in his category. Like I don't know how old he was, but he was like probably 12 years old. Like he was the best player in France for his age. He was playing against even older guys.
Yeah.
Um, Like he's the age of like Benjamin Diaz, the libero. Like Diaz,
Oh yeah,
grew
yeah.
up. I grew up watching Diaz play with Killian, my little brother, together in the same club since they're 5, 6 years old.
That's cool.
And and then he also at the European Championship basketball, they win the European Championship like U16, and he's MVP also. So it's like
Wow.
both like amazing. And I don't know, just growing up like this, and we we follow each other. We talk to each other a lot because we watch all each other's games.
Cool.
That's why we stay connected so much.
Yeah.
Because every time someone's playing, we send up the link. I'm playing this time. I play this time. Watch on this link. And my mom watches every game, so she never sleeps because she's jet lagged because she's in Japan. And we just either watch it live or replay, and we watch everyone's games and comment, and it's fun.
Yeah,
It's like entertainment all week. We have someone's playing 1 or 2, 3 games, so it's fun.
that's super cool. That's super cool.
Did you ever consider doing anything else besides playing sports for a living? I guess
No.
yeah.
No, I have never had a job. Like, when you're young, you kind of do summer jobs. I never did that in my life. I
Yeah.
was playing beach tournaments
Right.
to try to get money.
Do you
What
have
did
any
you study
skills?
then?
Oh, I don't know if you have any skills other than volleyball.
Oh,
What are you good at?
No skills. No other skills. Watching TV is my other skill.
Yeah,
right.
that's funny.
So when you decided to go to university and college, it was just like the experience of being and playing there, not
Yeah.
necessarily for a degree, or did that play a factor also?
No, I mean, yeah, it was one of the factors because my parents pushed us to study. And in France, you cannot do professional and study. It's like really difficult.
Yeah.
And the experience was the thing I wanted to do most. And I was a bit scared that I was gonna be left like forgotten a little bit when I went to Canada or the US, because when you leave, then you don't come back. It happens to some players now too. But I mean, I thought to myself, like, if it works out, I go play sports. If it doesn't, I got a degree. So it's win-win. And I saw also so many Americans and Canadians playing overseas. So I was like, well, if they can do it, I can probably do it too. Like if it works well, So I was thinking like that. I was quite confident growing up in general.
Right.
So
that's interesting. Where do you think that comes from?
Probably having parents that are good at sports. I don't know. Just
Yeah, right.
And so the fact that you always play sport, whatever sport you pick up, you're pretty good at. Like you're decent, not the worst. So it's like when you play outside of school, you're always one of the best at doing something. So you're confident when growing up just gets better and better. And always having a big brother like helping me was quite helpful. The only thing that could have been difficult was to have my dad like going behind my dad's footsteps. That could have been difficult, but the going to Canada and US helped me a lot because not many people knew my dad back then like as much. So like at least kids, and they don't know, so they never say like stuff, so it was all right.
Do you ever experience self-doubt at the level you're at now?
Not really. Like it's my wife tells me I've got problems in that sense. I'm not really emotional, and I don't have much. I'm not scared. I'm outgoing, and so I think it helps a lot. As I said, my confidence, and when I do play bad, I'm like, it's just a bad day. I never really experienced my only self doubts was when I did all my surgeries. I got in 2017. I got surgeries on both my knees and my shoulder, and I was thinking I'm never coming back to play. But I had an amazing trainer who, doing all my rehab, was super good with mental side also of the injuries, and within 3 months I was back and ready. I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to play again.
That's cool.
And I don't know. It's just, yeah, I feel like I, yeah, it's about not being scared in general and going left and right, traveling, leaving at a young age overseas. It builds up a lot of confidence, and then it's difficult to doubt yourself after, I think.
Well, you said that you're very outgoing, and as an outsider, like it's evident that you like to have a lot of fun, especially on your Instagram or when you're on the court
Yeah.
or when I'm watching. Like you like to have a lot of fun. You like to interact with the people around you. How important is having fun to you? And because for me, it's very important. But I've had coaches where it's like no smiling, no laughing, no
Yeah.
joking. Which I understand that there's a fine line, but that's when I
But
play my
even,
best.
yeah.
And so I'm wondering, A, what's the environment like in the French national team gym?
Yeah.
And B, how important is that to you?
Yeah, it's for me, it's the most important.
Cool.
If you don't
Cool.
have fun, you're not gonna succeed. Like I feel like you're taking it as a job instead of making it fun and be happy to be there. But like if a coach is like this, always angry, I'll manage to make him smile at some point. That'll be my goal. That's for sure.
I like that. I like that.
I had guys, I had some coaches, but I mean, De Giorgi was always like, super strict and stuff, but outside he was always joking and smiling. So at the end he likes
Right.
to smile. But then of course there's times you gotta be serious, and it's knowing when to joke, when to be serious. I guess it's if you always joke, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in the national team, it's just fun all the time. Even on the court, but we take it like it's the practices in the national team are crazy high level, and it's always talking shit to each other, but fun wise,
Yeah.
until it starts at some point someone gets a bit angry, then it goes bad. But like at the end, we're always having fun no matter what. Then we talk about it again. It brings the competition even higher. Once people start to get angry, then it's like a step up. But it starts from the joking, like you talk shit a little bit, you joke, and then someone gets a bit angry, then he wants to play better than the other who plays better, and then the competition is super high level.
Cool. I think that's really cool that that there's a direct correlation between having fun and high performance. Because I think a lot of people think it's like you got to have tunnel vision, you got to do this, you got to be so focused, and I don't think that's the case.
It probably depends. For some players, probably some players cannot do it. Like people that are not so outgoing or joking, they cannot do it all the time. I don't know, but if you're going having fun and it works, then it's good. But it's for me, it's always good to have fun, even at practice in general.
Yeah.
What are some other ways where the French national team training environment or team dynamics are different than any of the other teams you've been on? Because being a back-to-back Olympic champion doesn't happen by accident. So I'm wondering what's going on in that gym that separates you guys.
But I feel like it's the group of guys like that you have, like all of us in the national team get along and are friends basically. Like it's not like in club where you met the guy like 1 week ago or like 1 month ago and doesn't speak to you for a while and you don't know what he thinks. We all know what people think. We all know when this guy's gonna get angry or not, or this one, let's calm down a little bit. This guy's gonna, we all know each other so well and get along that it flows like so nicely because we have to stay basically every summer 4 to 5 months together in hotel rooms, traveling, see each other all day, morning and night together. It's if you don't get along, if you got a guy that is a bit annoying you, it's like it doesn't work. National team is a different thing. In club, you see each other for 2 hours of practice every day, but then you go home and you have your own life. In a national team, you're not home. You're like in a hotel room with one guy every day, and you see the rest of the guys like breakfast, lunch, practice, like gym, fitness, and a dinner. And then we hang out most of the time also to do fun stuff. So it's like all the time. And yeah, we enjoy our company, and it makes it fun. I try to bring this kind of um, joy around the team when I go to a club, but still not the same because you still go home and do your own stuff. So
Yeah. Who are the main leaders on the French national team? Because from the outside, it looks like any one of you could be
yeah,
the guy.
yeah.
I want to add to that question. Ask who's the best at getting under your skin, because you said you all know who's going to say what and stuff.
I mean, Irvin must be the guy who gets under his skin like the most probably, but Jenny also like can just talk a bit of shit, and he's a libero, but he's digs everything, so it's like easy for him to talk.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. I'd say Irvin probably. Also, Trevor likes to talk a lot, and each of us have something that can lead um, on the court. I think the most important guy is Irvin. When he's up, it brings the whole team up. When he's down, it's difficult. Like he's gonna also to bring the team down for sure, but like he knows that, and he always tries to cheer the team up now, especially compared to in the past. He had more up and downs. Now he always tries to, even if he's playing not as good, he brings the team up, and it's huge to have this guy on the team when he brings the team up. When they're on the court, of course, Totti or Brizard, Tonuti or Brizard are good leaders, and you all have your own, leading capacity. Also, like Genia is for the defense and for the reception, but off the court, it's got everybody. Everybody is at their own thing. I usually lead in organizing restaurants or going for coffee or like going to a place for team stuff, because I look up online on Google and used to be TripAdvisor. When we're overseas, no one knows where to go. I'll tell you, all right, we got to go there. We're all going together. We eat this.
Cool.
So I'm the guy who directs when we need to organize a dinner or a coffee or something like that.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
That's my job now. Lately, that was only my job basically. And on the court, I just try to bring the energy and just push a little bit, like when I come in, and yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're starting to move into volleyball, so let's kind of move into reception. I have a question about how you've changed as a player. What's something that you used to believe that you no longer believe is true about volleyball, or about, let's say about volleyball, but it can be about reception?
I mean, yeah, it's difficult because there's things you believe in is like in reception, for example. It's the coaches teach you a lot of things, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I think I have a terrible, like, if you look at my technique of reception, no one's going to teach you that, but it works. So every time I go to a club and the coach watches my reception, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, does the ball get there perfectly? Yeah. Okay. So what else do you want? I believe in whatever you can do to make it. If it works, if something works, even if you do it bad, if it works, just keep doing it. You got to look at, we've got players in our team that do incredible things and it works, but no one's going to teach you that. Like Genia in defense, like no one does what he does. No one hangs out in the 2 meters, hands up like this, waiting for the ball, but he does it and it works. But no one's going to teach you that. So what I think is, yeah, you gotta like teach kids how to do it, but sometimes it's good to let their instinct go at some point, or their creativity, and if it works, like keep going. And if it doesn't work, like stop trying to change sometimes. Sometimes they try to change so much stuff. And if someone told me to change how my reception was going, like, and they tried, and at UC Irvine,
Yeah.
John Sproul tried to change my reception. He told me, "We'll try for a few months, and if it doesn't work out, I'll let you do whatever you want." And it didn't work at all. And he's like, "All right, do whatever you want. It works." So
That's hilarious.
and it's nice that he understood that and let me do what I wanted.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, yeah, that's one of the things. It's high level sport. There's no rules about. There's not many rules. At that level, it's instinct, creativity, and efficiency. Like whatever works.
Yeah, that's cool. I like what you said about celebrating the creativity, especially in youth athletes. Like if something works, celebrate it. Don't try and change what you think is right. I think that was really well said, and I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw a lot when, for example, Irvin started doing crazy stuff, and yeah, sometimes it didn't work, but sometimes it worked, and the coaches let him do it, and the whole world started picking it up. Like, the fake spike set. A lot of times it didn't work, but then sometimes it worked, and like when you work on it, then it worked better, and everybody's doing it now. Like there's a lot of things. Like some coaches would have been, no chance. You do it like this, you do it like this, and I think also Irvin was already a great player at that time, so a lot of people let him do it. But if other players was doing it, not famous, some coaches would have been so strict with them and not let the creativity work. But sometimes you gotta practice some crazy stuff and see if it works or not.
Yeah, really cool.
How do you view practice or training versus playing? Because we've talked about this on the podcast a bit about having the freedom to fail basically in practice.
Yeah.
And I mean, the point of practice, in my view, is to get better. And in order to do that, you're going to have to kind of push the limits of what is within your skill level. Is that something you agree with, or how do you view it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting older now, so I take practice a bit less seriously. I don't want to get too tired, especially when we have lots of matches and stuff. Like in preseason, yeah, we got to push a little bit, but during the season, I tend to, I'll go for an hour, then I'll try to calm down a little. I'm almost 34, so I gotta. I don't have the same energy as back then, but in terms of failure and at practice, how far you go, like it depends what kind of coach you have, and a lot of coaches hate when you make mistakes and they'll tell you zero mistakes, and some people let you do the mistakes. I think there's a balance to find, because when you can try to recreate the pressure and this you have during a game into a practice, that's where you practice the best, I think. Like when you count points and you put, like, you play 6-on-6 with points, and you have a fight between the two teams that play, I think it's the best practices. Because I can be at practice and do 20 mistakes and not care at all, but when you get to the game and you do one mistake already gets in your head right away. Like, I made one mistake. Just in serve, for example, you can practice serve and make some mistakes at practice, no one cares. But you get to the game, you miss the first serve, you're like, I can't miss again. And you got to practice this to get that pressure of trying without making too many mistakes. It's a balance to find, I think. And some coaches are good at it, some coaches struggle a little bit, but
Right. No, that's a good point. And like maybe difference between drills. Like some drills are for the experimentation, making mistakes, and then
that's true.
Yeah, because learning in practice also includes learning how to play, hopefully under some pressure.
Yeah. Well, in the national team, for example, our 6-on-6 is like both teams are super good. Even if you put the first team against the second team, and just between the setters, one setter is going to win a set, the other one's like going to win the other set. Like there's so much competition between players, and at the same time, the competition we have in national team it's not a bad competition. It's super good. Like it brings everybody up, and that's where you get the best practices, like high level pressure, like want to win, and it's fun. It's fun too.
Yeah, that's cool. Especially because even the first line gets to play against one of the best teams in the world
Yeah,
on the second side as well,
yeah,
which I think is
yeah,
probably pretty rare.
yeah. We have all fucking good players on the team. So even if you play the second against the second team, or the first team plays the second team, they're still playing against good teams, and we're gonna put pressure on them. Compared to in club in general, the first team will destroy the second team. That's why I like when you mix players and not always have one starting team against the second team. I like when people mix and you try to beat the other players also from the starting six. For me, it's more fun.
Yeah, cool. You said that no one would try and teach the way that you receive. What sets your type of reception apart from, let's say, the traditional reception?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's what I do with my arms, and I don't know. It's strange. For example, I have my assistant in the national team. He goes crazy because I always like put my platform apart after a reception.
Yeah.
And he goes, no one does this. Someone does it. It doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, but look, when I do it, it works. Like,
Yeah.
so what do you want me to do? This is what I do. I don't know. I just have the instinct of whatever I do to try to put it perfect. And like, I will receive like this on float serves and touch it with one arm goes perfect. Like I don't know why. It just happens and it goes perfect most of the time. So I don't know why. I feel like it's my goal is to put the platform behind the ball the best I can to get it there. And if it's jumping, I jump a lot in reception.
Mm-hmm.
I spread my arms sometimes. If I feel like I'm gonna miss the ball too high, I kind of let go, and it helps to get the ball there. I don't know why I do it, but it's just instinct, and always kind of attack the ball. I feel like that's one of the things they teach you, attack the ball. But like jumping for me is, I jump all the time. I think like on float serves for them. I'm not on, even on some jump serves sometimes. But it's not something they teach you. They teach you to not jump, stay behind the ball. It kind of changed, but it used to be when I grew up was always go behind the ball to get the platform in front of you.
Yeah.
But I never do that. I always have it on the side, and from a young age, my dad kind of taught me that for some reason. He was telling us that that's how you got to do it. And I was like, okay, it works.
Cool. And what about your mindset? Like you said, it's instinct. Your body puts the ball where you need to put the ball. But what about when you have a server going back there? Let's say a really big server. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking about? What
big
you
servers?
tell yourself cues or?
Yeah. I mean, we usually anyways do game plans on serve, so I know usually where he's going to serve the hardest, and if he does a change, where it's going to go. And I just before I'm getting ready for every kind of situation, like if it's hard here, I'm ready to go to the ball. I'm going to attack the ball, and always I always try to be on my toes in general. Like if I know I've been struggling for a few days already, it's because I'm on my heels always. And that's one of the things I always remind myself, like I gotta lean forward, and even if I'm going backwards, I'm like kind of like on my toes and leaning forward. sometimes on the hard serve you have to go back like this and keep it, but in general you always start aggressive basically. And I'm always confident. I'm always like I'm gonna get that ball perfect. Like that's my mindset. Like I know some people are like, oh no, don't serve to me, don't serve to me. I'm like, if you serve to me, it's going perfect.
Yeah.
And when there's a team start serving to me, in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, you want to serve to me? All right, come on. And that's my goal. It's like, how many times they're gonna serve to me until they change? That's like, if a team starts serving me, I'm like, oh, like my mindset is like, I'm putting every ball perfect. It becomes a challenge and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. How long
Do
can
you-
you sustain that if things start to go poorly?
Oh, I can go even if I mess up. I'm like, that's just lucky. I'll get the next
Okay.
one. Yeah, and even if I have a bad game in reception, I just like that was my fault. Like next time you want to serve to me again, go ahead. I'll get you. Like I'm really confident in my reception that I'm okay. Like at practice, also I enjoy it. I think it's because I'm good at it, so I enjoy it. I enjoy practicing it. I enjoy doing it. I can do it for hours. And if someone wants to serve to me in the game, I'm like, perfect. I'm doing something.
I know we're talking about reception, but do you have that mindset as a player, like in other skills, or is that reception specific?
Um, no, reception for sure. It's the most confidence I have is in my reception. Um, I have ups and downs in attack, I guess, but a lot of teams I go to get surprised in my spiking. Like, oh, are you actually pretty good at spiking? I'm like, yeah, I can spike. But that's just because in a national team, it's not my job. Like, I have my role
Right.
is mostly, you got Irvin, now you got Jean. In the past, you had Rousier, you had like all these attackers that the last guy was me, and teams took me like this. And then sometimes like, oh, he can actually spike too sometimes. So I get all the in general, I'm here for reception, etc. And then I got a lot of teams sometimes pleasantly surprised, and I'm like, oh, he can spike too, and he's efficient, and even if he's not efficient, I do smart stuff to replay the ball and stuff like that. I try to play smart, and when I feel physically pretty good, I try to go. So, like if you need me in spike that day, I'll try my best to bring the attacking mode too. Also, it's the same with serve. Like I don't have the strongest serve, so the other guys usually have the green card. Like, and depends on how the game goes. If we make mistakes or the other team struggles in reception, I will do float or jump. Like I like to balance my serve in general.
Cool. So you're like the ultimate team player, basically, is what you're
I
telling
try.
us.
I'm trying to do what's best for the team most of the time. Like I'll never go like, oh, I want aces, I want points. I really don't care.
Cool. You just want to have fun and play with your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Really cool.
But I grew up with basically the national team that it's easy to play with them. So it's like, I'll just have fun and enjoy the ride. I'll help you. That's all.
Yeah. Cool. Do you think reception is a mental skill or a physical skill?
It's more mental, but it has to be physical too, because it's a skill that you gotta practice and do a lot of reps and figure it out. But mentally, if you're confident, then you're not scared, and then it's where it gets easier. The worst is getting scared of receiving, and there's a lot of players are like that. And you can tell on the court, that guy does not want to receive the ball. You're gonna serve to him, and you see that guy miss one twice, and it's eating his head, and he's gonna get out of the game, and even his spiking is gonna go down.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes they're gonna start missing the easiest reception, and then they go down.
So what would you say to younger athletes that don't have the confidence? during a reception?
Practice as much as you can until you're confident enough to miss and try again after. Like it's a lot about reps and figure out what you can do best to put it perfect. Like I feel like every person has a different way to receive, and if you find your way to put it there and get confident to put it most of the time perfect, then but it's all about practice and a lot of repetition. I love to do just easy repetitions, like the easy ones, to just touch the ball and get the feeling of putting it perfect. And then when it comes harder and harder, then it's the same kind of feeling, but just a bit faster or a bit more, and then you get there.
And I'm so interested that how like results based you think when especially receiving. And as a coach now, it's really making me think about what to even do. like
because you're like trying to teach them, so even if they miss, it's like the way they did it was right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's like I've always as a player tried to do it right. That's kind of my thing. I do my job, I try to do it right. And I think that's helped me in some ways, but I'm really curious what your kind of mindset would do for me and also for the players that I'm coaching right now.
I know it's also difficult when it's kids learning, so
Right.
like you do have to teach them certain skill. Like you're not gonna go, all right, that guy, like, all right, put the ball perfect. He doesn't know how to do it, so you got to teach him some skills. And then tall guy is gonna receive different than a smaller guy, and some quicker guy, or like I don't know, some people have the platform, some people don't. Like I don't know, I have the platform. I have it perfect, so I can just go like this and still have the platform, but it's different when it's kids, I think.
Yeah. What would be like the first maybe 2 or 3 things that you would teach younger kids when they're
Younger
starting?
kids, I'll just it's about feeling confident in I think in controlling the ball with your platform, like hit against the wall. The hitting, even me, I still do it against the wall. Like I just enjoy doing it against the wall to have the feeling again when I stop for 2 weeks or a few weeks. Like pass against the wall and spike against the wall. It's just the easiest drill to get back into the feel confident with your skill. Like I can put the ball there, boom. I can motivate the ball there, boom, boom. Like it's having control, ball control, and then apply it on a reception or a defense or whatever, and then you teach them to always like try to attack the ball or whatever. Like what you do against the wall, do it there. That's difficult, but that must be so many ways. I'm not a coach yet, so.
Is there anything that you see? Doesn't have to be reception specific, but is there anything you see coaches teaching younger athletes a lot right now that you strongly disagree with?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen young athletes in a while, to be honest. I've been because even the young guys in our team, in pro team, they don't really teach much, to be honest. Like when you're a young guy on a pro team, you just have to get along and practice.
Right.
There's not much teaching anymore, like in professional, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's change. I'll change the question. When's the last time that you learned something?
Wow. Me?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I guess every time I have a new coach, I learn new things. Mm-hmm. So, the way you prepare a game or do practices, like more than skill stuff. I don't know, it's more about strategies and preparing that I learned more still. When I had my dad for so many years in the national team, then Gianni show up and do a few different things, and that's how you learn. I've learned with some coaches what not to do. a lot
Right.
of things.
Yeah.
I've got some few coaches in clubs last few years who was like, some things are better not doing, like exercise wise, or your team is going to get worse by doing this, and it's good to see also these things so you know what not to do.
Yeah. Well, how do you being such a team guy, how do you encourage the team and keep the team together when you can tell that 90% of the guys are thinking like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this
I just
exercise?
say it to the coach. I said it the other day to my coach. This exercise, we shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
This is a waste of time. We're not getting better, and it's getting everybody annoyed. Oh, okay. And we have a coach who's young right now in Warsaw for a coach, and so it's quite cool that he listens. And sometimes maybe I'm a bit too direct at what I say, but then I take him after and I tell him a little bit, and then he's like, okay. And then he does it or not. It's up to him. But at least I tell him that this exercise, it's not helping me at least. And I can tell if you guys are not helping at all.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you that
And
direct with your teammates as well?
not always, but I think it depends who it is, which teammate it is. Some guys you can tell direct, some guys you gotta like be a bit more chill on them. It's whatever the guy is gonna help the guy. Like if I yell on a guy, it's not gonna help him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go like try again, and like I don't know. I'll it depends on who you're talking to. I think I always try to adjust.
Hmm.
It's the same with coach. Some coaches don't want to listen to players. So it's like, what can I do? Just let him deal with his stuff and show him that it's not working, or show him and let him know. Like on the court, if I don't tell him, I'll just show him the court, and just let him see it. That's bad.
That's
And
funny.
some people hate it. Some coaches hate it, but they don't want to listen. So
Right.
I think the best coaches it's the ones that can listen, and not always, but yeah, like be quite direct, but also listen to some guys and be like, okay, it's true, good point, and then change something.
Back to more reception stuff. We did a serving episode that just came out
Serving.
yesterday. Yeah. And in your opinion, what's the hardest maybe singular serve to pass, and also what are the hardest servers to face?
Right now I think for the hardest serves are the hybrids. Like a good hybrid, like that can that you don't know if it's going to be a float or a jump. Guys like even Bieniek, the Polish guy, he throws it and you don't know if he's going to do a float or a jump. But his jump is like 110, 115 or 120 kilometer per hour, and his float can be a short one or just even if it's not too hard, it's just you're ready for such a hard jump that even just a shitty flow will like make you hesitate. I think the best hybrids are so hard, so hard.
His
And
his is a float toss, right?
it's a float toss. He tosses it like
Yeah.
this,
No,
and
there's
then
very
he approaches it like a spike though. Like
yeah, it's crazy. You think
guys
it's
like that.
especially hard because of the float? Like if it was a spin toss, like a regular hybrid, would it be as hard?
I think it's just the fact that it's either really hard serve or a float.
Hmm.
Like if the guy tossed it like this and did the same, it was the same. It's just he's got lines, he's got the cross, he's got the middle, he's got the float, but it's he can like the hardest is to be ready for anything in reception. But nowadays the hybrids for me are the hardest. Of course, you have the guys who serve super hard, but I still think it's easier just because you know what to expect. Or Irvin can do an insane short, but also his jump is so hard and kind of floats like he's heavy. Even that, like if he does a few shorts, you're like, nah, I got to be ready for the short, and you're not ready for the hard anymore. So it's the change. variation of the serves are the hardest, I think, now. If the serve is always the same, it's easier.
Well, that's a good answer for us because that's exactly what we were talking about the other day. So
Okay, good.
we might be on.
I didn't watch, so
yeah.
But yeah, the hybrids, like but even the like the short ones, not only like float or jump, but a guy who has a really hard spin and a good short, it's so hard.
At what point do you have like a bailout pass where you're just trying to get it up in the middle of the court? Like, let's say you're expecting Irvin's roll and he bombs one at you. At what point do you switch from trying to make it perfect to trying not to get aced?
That's a good point. I think I always try to put it perfect. Like even if I try to like keep it up, I try to put it as perfect as I can. Like, or if the guy aced me a few times, then I'm like, all right, stop trying to put it perfect. Or if I made it over the net a few times, then I'm like, okay, try to keep that one. But as long as I'm receiving fine, I'm still trying to put it fine. But if I mess up a few times, then I try to like keep it.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't think it's about the serve. It's about if I've been messing up a bit too much or.
Right. Yeah.
As a team, how do you guys organize your reception in terms of responsibilities and seams and that kind of stuff?
And national team?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's give Genia the most space and then figure out your own court. But it's usually we take on the left. It's like we try to make it some kind of arc, like you get if you're in 5, you're a bit closer. The guy in 6 is not on the same line, so you can, get behind and the guy get in a bit in front. It's always they say we take left on a guy right-handed who jumps from 1, and if it's from 5, it's take right. It's still true, we do that, but you still have to be able to, like if I'm in 5 and the guy serves from 1, I'm still gonna take a little bit on my right anyways. Like I'm not gonna like if it's on my right, I'll leave it. We try to take as much court as possible, but I mean we have a lot of guys in the team who can take a lot of space. So it's as far as you can go, and then the guy next to you is gonna get it. And with Genia, you can leave him so much space. He's gonna be there. Like Genia is crazy. Like you can take half the court. On a jump serve, you're like, that should have been me. You let it go, and he's still there. So it's like, okay.
What sets him apart? Like, what makes him so good? Besides the obvious,
it's how much space he takes on the court. I think also it's one of the things, and how quick he is. And in defense, it's how well he anticipates what's happening. He was an outside hitter in the past a little bit. Like, he spikes. He loves spiking. Like, he spikes also when he plays tournaments and stuff. So you must understand when a guy can spike or not the ball. Like clear example. I don't know if he knows that, but he will do it. But like, if a set is at the antenna, high to the antenna, there's not many chances the guy's gonna spike sharp. Usually it's like more over the block or long cross, So he's always at the right place, and he's often on the tip. He's so quick to get any tips.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen in guys tip on the line, and he's in 5, like from outside, like in position 4, tips on the line, and he's getting that one. It's happened like I've seen him do that. Like and you're like, how did he get that? How does he know he's gonna do that? Like he's just watching the sets, anticipates that he cannot spike there, so he's gonna go there. It's quick enough. So
yeah, we talked about
anticipation.
Yeah, we talked about that last time too. That the difference between the different levels of volleyball is usually the reading aspect, and the anticipation, and it's the same thing on reception. I think that's why the variation in the serves is difficult, because it messes with your ability to read where it's going. Yeah.
And
like especially at your level, you're so in control of your platform. The only problems that can kind of happen are if you don't see where the line of the
Yeah,
ball is going properly. So,
yeah,
but the influence of a good libero is amazing. And I didn't really realize that until I played in France, and all of them are just impacting the game like
yeah. They're
crazy.
good. Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of good liberos in France. That's for sure.
Why do you think that is?
We must. I don't know. We must do something, right? I don't know.
yeah.
It's becoming our style of play. You know, like being good at reception. I feel like now kids kids watching us want to be good at doing that. And there's one thing I don't know if it's what it is, but I'm set in my mind that one of the things that set us apart to the world is that in France we play 3-on-3 on the beach,
Mm.
indoor rules, and you play that every summer. Like as a kid growing up, every summer you play 3-on-3 indoor rules. You become so good at being skilled indoor player. Like it's crazy. You receive like this, you receive like this. You will tip left, right, push, uh, like deep. It's so many tips in defense. Like it's the game is so fun, and we play that all the time growing up. I feel like it translates really well to indoor compared to other countries play 2-on-2 beach volleyball rules. That does not translate it indoor at all. And even when they play 4-on-4, they still play some kind of beach beach rules. Like I know in the US, it's also the setting and you cannot tip and stuff like this. And we allow it, and it makes it like Trevor grew up playing 3-on-3, and all he does indoor is tip, and it still works.
Yeah,
And I'm sure he learned from playing on the beach.
we
And yeah,
we did a 3-on-3 tournament like our first week here for preseason. And I've never seen a group of guys so excited to do something.
oh yeah,
Like
it's
we're
the
going to
most
the
fun.
beach 3-on-3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? Open hand tips and all this stuff. But it was a lot of fun. And I
But
sucked at it. I sucked at it. Like I didn't
but
know I couldn't.
you will lose like professionals that don't know how to play, like that have never played 3-on-3 on the beach. Even if you're professional, like first division in France, you will lose to guys on the beach that are playing uh like fifth, sixth division indoor. They go on the beach and they'll kill you because they're so good at tipping and etc. It's impossible to win.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well,
Yeah,
and I think that's the reading thing. Like I had no idea what to anticipate because I'd
yeah,
never done it
yeah.
before.
But
Yeah,
I feel like it translates really well to indoor, this kind of game.
yeah.
And we're the only tongue country who does it. I've never seen it anywhere else.
Hmm.
We all played this game, and we just became like crafty and skilled and like this. That's what I think. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
idea of
It's funny.
why do we play like this? My reason is that we do that.
I think it's cool though that you think youth athletes are starting to appreciate good reception and good ball control. Like it's
I
not
think
all about the
yeah,
big spikes and the aces.
yeah.
Like there's way more to the sport than that. I think that's really
Oh,
cool.
I don't know. Have you guys seen Ilya Eno in at UC Irvine? His highlights. I mean,
No.
yeah, he jumps high. He's like lefty. He can serve aces. He's super like physical too. But the amount of tips he does is insane. He will tip deep, short, lefty, right-handed, cross line. It's crazy. And I know, like his dad was one of the guys, like a libero. Hubert, I know, is a volleyball legend libero
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
France, and he had his kids growing up all the time on the beach because he was doing all the in like the 3-on-3 tournaments. And these kids grew up like this, and now they're the like best outsides growing, like coming in the future generation. So
Cool.
it's all about, I don't know, growing up on the beach and tipping and receiving, because you also receive like it's not a the beach, the 2-on-2 ball. It's a different kind of ball, a bit heavier, kind of like more closer to indoor, and so your reception will be similar, and you'll learn a little bit to do that. So It's cool, I think.
It's cool. I can see the French style of volleyball coming through with everything you're saying.
Yeah,
With like how much fun you're saying you have in practice and
yeah,
challenging each other and the creativity and just put the ball where it's supposed to go with the ball control, all that.
yeah.
I think that's so interesting. Um, and do you think that in order to get to the level that you're at and play with
Uh,
that style and gain that ball control, it's about just trying and messing around with the ball and getting the
yeah,
touch?
And being
yeah.
creative, I think. I like the
Yeah,
creative part.
creative. And I remember one of the because being a French player coming to North America, um, they always wondered what we did different and stuff. And there was one specific game that we were doing, and I was killing everybody, and no one was doing it like me. I was like, why not? Like, it's not how they learn to play volleyball. We were playing easily, like, to warm up games, like 2-on-2, but indoor rules, same. Like, it was 2-on-2, but indoor rules. And if you win, you go you move up a court, stuff like this, like easy games. Like it was especially at UC Irvine, but I think we did also in Canada. And I was the only one. I was chipping every ball. I would tip every ball, left, right, left, like, and if the block was there, I would, swipe it out and tip it in. And it came at some point towards the end of the year where, like, players are like, we got to do the same, and they're learning to do the same. Everybody was starting to do that and learn to tip and and it became way harder to win. And this is how you learn, like, seeing other guys do it, and you want to recreate it. It's fun to watch and try to do the same and practice it. Even if it's something really difficult, you still can practice as a kid and try to learn. And I think it's the game keeps growing, and so when you watch it, you try to do the same. If it doesn't work, yeah, keep trying, and at practice you can have fun trying. And yeah, I mean, that's how you do it.
That's cool. It's really cool. Oog, you got any questions for our esteemed guest? You sleeping over
It
there?
wasn't even
It wasn't even plugged in.
It doesn't work. His mic
we
doesn't
can't
work.
hear
That's
you.
why. Maybe he's been speaking the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
lost. No, I've just been listening the whole time. I just really like when you talked about your reception style, I just really appreciated how much emphasis you had on just making your platform as best as it can be and just being like, okay, yeah, this is my platform. I
Yeah.
don't really care what anything else is, because I feel like all the time, like, everyone's stressing about like, oh, your feet, your shoulders, whatever, but really the most important thing is putting the ball off the thing that's going to make the ball go to where you want it
Yeah.
to go. Like, that's, yeah, I
That's
thought that
true.
was
Like,
really cool.
every time I go to a club and we do reception drills and we practice on reception, obviously people are watching and they laugh like you did that and it goes perfect. And they're just laughing. At some point, it becomes normal, and the other guys are slowly trying to do the same. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like when it works, they're like, "Oh, it works!" Like, yeah, it does work sometimes. It's, I don't know. It must be bad to teach this to kids, but at some point you're gonna have to, because a whole team does it. You watch Irvin sometimes receive like this without moving his feet at all, just boom. And it's about having control of your platform and knowing where the ball goes.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, thank you very much. That was really insightful. Really
problem.
appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us.
Well,
Obviously,
I hope I didn't kill too many coaches trying to teach kids how to do it. It's I'm just re-saying it for kids. Of course, you got to teach somehow. Like, at some point, you got to teach them something, and then
yeah,
it's after, when you, like, grow up and start to be skilled at what you do, and be comfortable with your platform, that you can do
yeah,
crazy stuff. But of course,
cool.
there's always a base to start and learn and practice. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But at a higher level, things go so fast that you don't have time, to move your feet behind the ball and put it perfect. It's too fast. It's too fast. So it's like, quick reaction platform there. But if you watch Jenya, it's nothing is teachable. You cannot teach any of the things he does. And it's and we still laugh about it in national team. That's how crazy he does things every day, because I know him since I'm 15 years old, and I still every time he does something crazy at practice, I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, what? It works now. So I'm like, yeah, true. Good point.
Oh,
That's
that's awesome.
funny. Alrighty. Well, I think that wraps up episode number 18 of the Pit to Pro podcast. Thanks, Kevin, for coming on. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Signing off.